We're in today Clifford's for a pull leg session, joined by my very good client and friend here, Lewis. I say friend because that's what all clients seem to become. We're going to start this session straight away by kind of what I refer to as a potentiation exercise. So we're basically just going to do a long rope straight arm pull down. So the cues here is we want to set our hips in stone, so we want to make sure that we're in a comfortable position where we don't move. We're going to initiate this movement with scapular depression, so we're going to pull our shoulders down to our kind of hips, and I'm going to kind of picture a pendulum movement where I'm coming out and in. And the goal here is going to be to try and get your lat short. So if we see that axis, we're going into here. I'm not bending that elbow, I'm just bringing that elbow into my lat. We're just going to do like 2 to 3 sets here, 8 to 12 reps. We're not going to failure. It's just to get a little bit of blood in those lats. And then we're going to go to the lying leg curl, which we'll touch on in a minute, and then we'll hip hinge straight out the gate, which we're going to discuss because Lewis here has been having issues for that for quite some time. He immediately gets a lot of like pain within his lower back. So we're hoping that we can either rectify that and change the setup, or we completely cut it, which is what we've done for the last few times. Haven't we, mate?
It's been blessed.
I don't want to do it. Keep it at heart. The reason we're using a daisy chain is they're a little bit longer than your conventional rope, I think. So yeah, so this is going to give us that little bit of room. 1MR, Josh Bridgman's brand, has brought out a long rope. Send me one over, Josh. Now I need to get one ordered. Right, come on, Lewis, hit it.
Yeah, so my name's Lewis Heald. I've been with Mike now for, I don't know how long now, a good couple of months anyway. But like you said, I've become, all right, we'll have one here. Yeah. He's become a good friend and that, and like a trusted, obviously, coach. I'm competing this year, doing classic physique. I'll probably do IBFA first and then a PCA. IBFA is probably just like a bit of a warm up. But yeah, then we're here filming today. That's about it.
Need a sex bomb.
Sex bomb. Yeah, Lewis, aka Sex Best.
Stop it, stop it. That'll do us. So we choose these 2 movements because they aren't far to walk. So next we've got lying leg curl. What we need to think about here from an execution point is we literally want to make our hamstrings bleed. This would be great if it was a prime, so we could choose the resistant profile and challenge more of the short. What we want to do here is make sure these are immaculate. So we're going to kind of align our knee with the axis of rotation. So we want our knee here best we can. We're going to force our thighs in. We're going to keep our hips down. This realistically wants to be at a point. So we'll just assess. So to me that's perfect. So I have a kind of thingy of turning my feet out. We need to keep my toes in. We're going to lock in. I'm going to tense my glutes, force my hips down, kill. You can see how from here I kind of go into kind of more of an here, fully lengthened, toes in, glutes on, kill. we want to really exaggerate the tempo in that eccentric, so going from knees bent and knees fully extended, and really get as much out of them hamstrings as we can before we go and load them within that stiff leg variation. Come on, Lewis. Just be conscious of where your toes are, so kind of keep them pointed in. There you go, good, yep. Lock in, good. Well, he's gonna initiate here, he's gonna squeeze this, and he's gonna force his hip down. So we're gonna initiate glutes, knee, curl, contract. There's gonna be reps where you've got no choice but to allow your hip to come up. Feel all right?
Easy, come on. Up, go down again. One more, come on. Up, oh in, good. Come on then, and again. Squeeze, come on, in. Good, good.
You like my saliva?
So I'll lick it up when I get down there. That looked heavy, that.
Yeah, I'd reduce. Keep them fucking hips down. Come on, hips down. Yes. Go again. Come on. Again. Drag. There's one more there, there's one more there, there's one more there, there's one more there. Yes. Yeah. So like, pretty much within that kind of top set, you're going to see that the execution does break down a little bit quicker if you let it. The goal is to try and avoid that, but then within this back off, this needs to be perfect. With what I'd normally tell a client is the minute your hips are constantly coming off, or you're losing like a contraction within your hamstrings, end the set and then re-go next week.
Toes in. Good. Easy, Mike, come on. Better, come on. Up. Up, good. Keep him there, come on. Didn't even touch you, come on. Up. Squeeze him in, come on. Go down again. One more. Up. Good.
Oh. Like guitar strings. We're going to hinge now, so we're going to go for a stiff leg setup. Now we still need to assess at what height we're going to do the blocks. I would normally pull from one block. Lewis may need to pull from two, just simply from just stand up. So if you look at stand to the side, hey baby, you see where Lou's hip finishes? That's here on me, my hip finishes here. So there's like an inch difference in terms of limb length from like his femur to his tibia. I've said that right, yeah. So when we come to actually pull in, Lewis needs to pull from a higher point than me. So we're gonna get another block. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll get another block and then put that in front and then roll it off. And then if we look at from Lewis's shoulder to his wrist, he's got relatively, like, his biceps short, my biceps much longer, but then his forearm's about the same. So our reach is the same, but his hip is higher than my hip. So he's got longer to travel in terms of getting that bar, which is probably what's actually loading his lower back a little bit too much. But then we don't want to avoid the point that we're actually trying to load that point of the back, so there's going to be a little bit of pain. Now if that's unbearable, step the foot back, don't let that happen. Like, if you can see, I've got flat feet, so notoriously my knees will force in. So like, a lot of people will say, take this stance, but then because my hips are automatically wanting to come out, I'm better taking a bit of a wider. Like, this is the tripod to the stance. So we're gonna lock our feet into position. We need to again be mindful of active range as such. So I'm going to start this setup by hinging down here. I'm going to lock my arms onto the bar. I'm instantly going to take a bit of a snag out the bar. So the bar, like, I'm not pulling from a dead weight. So I've took the load, and I'm going to think about forcing my heels through the floor. I'm going to think about kind of, you can't really do this, but I want to be mindful of my calves. I'm going to be mindful of my ass. I'm going to be tensing my glutes, tensing my hamstring, locking this. Everything is on. I'm going to take a big deep breath in. Drag, throw. And then when I come back down, I'm going to initiate from the hip. So hips are going to go backwards. I'm going to try and keep that torso upright. Come down, lock. Now, as you could see then, as this bar gets heavy, my thoracic is going to give. Now, that's going to happen when you've got X amount of kilo on the bar. Like, you're not going to have the strength capacity to keep that, and if you are, there's probably not enough on the bar. We're going to have Lewis do it from one higher, so I'm literally just going to go. And we're going to monitor this. Just literally, yeah, bring the bar close to you, straighten out your torso. So like when you've got the bar, strengthen up. So straight back, good. And now pull. Now think about stiffer legs, so straighter legs. Good, so you could see then, so do that again, but stop where you kind of feel comfortable. There. So this is Lewis's, this is where he's strong, but we still got like literally a toe distance from the floor. Now, again here, this is why a stiff leg wouldn't really work for Lewis, so I want you to sit your bum down a little bit. So like almost RDL kind of function, there you go. Good, hips back, come down, bend that knee a little bit there. Good, that's better for him. He's able to keep like a relatively straight torso, but again, that is going to get broke down as we load this bar. Good, rack it. You know what I don't like here? Like what I can see happening is almost matching weight because you're pulling from higher. Chuck a red on. I just want to touch on this. Another one, and the amount of clients that send me form videos, especially when it comes to any sort of pulling movement, and they've got nothing on their wrist. Like, and then when I discuss it with them, they see these as kind of cheating. Like, we're here to transform our physique, not improve our grip. And this is going to be your grip is going to be the limiting factor in so many movements. It's like, these people will be happy to wear knee sleeves or knee wraps to protect their knees. So I want to protect my wrist, my grip, my forearms as such. So I'll utilize this to literally lock myself in within this movement and focus on being able to do more reps, which is going to provide more of a stimulus to the muscles I'm trying to train.
Do you still want me doing like stiff-legged deadlifts or RDLs? Yeah.
Yeah, sound. How did that feel weight-wise?
Alright, yeah.
Let's load another
and I ain't
rep.
got a belt on or anything, so...
Do you normally belt when you...
yeah, all the time, yeah. It just, I don't know, it just...
It's a placebo.
It just makes me feel safer, yeah.
Don't overthink it.
It's funny you said that, I was just thinking and I thought, right, I'm like going through it in my head.
Just literally grip, torso, hips back, pull. Get them fucking tight. The bar closed, chest up. There we go, hips back. Good, keep that chin tucked. Forget the fucking mirror. Good, rack it. Never know, it's how to
They
feel.
feel alright, yeah, for a change.
You just need to be in the presence of greatness.
yeah.
I'm going to fuck this one up now, aren't I?
I hope your fucking wrist strap snaps.
That's my normal go-to, 250, 220, sorry. So we'll go...
Another red?
We'll go one more red.
Yeah.
Obviously, it just looks like 4 plate aside now, though.
It's not, though. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Easy. Easy these, Mike, come on. And again. Thought you had that.
It's like, there comes a time with me where like, I'll assess, over-evaluate, overthink. But that last rep kind of went from ham, glute, to primarily just like QL, lower back. And as I was pulling, I was like, I want to be able to train in the next few days. And that would have been the rep. And there'll be many times I've took that and I'm like, I'll take 7 reps here. I'd say for you, take the 25 off, put a 15 on.
I can't do that.
I don't do this.
Yeah, of course I do.
3, 2, 1, up. Motherfucker!
Not that I'm ego lifting, but I've got to give it a go. They actually feel alright up to now, do you know what I mean? So, at least want to give it a shot.
No.
What?
Yeah, good luck, Bell. What are you laughing for?
I've got my water bottle, I just have to stand my water bottle.
Hashtag TBF. This is just baby chalk. Seven to beat.
Fucking hell, I'm surprised if I get 1.
Come on. Get them fucking bad boys locked in. Let's go. That's the one. Now you've got the confidence. Come on. Chin tuck. Keep that fucking chin down. 2, good. Head strong, head strong. Very good, 1 more. Hold on to this.
me, they're heavy.
We're good though.
That's probably the heaviest I've got in fucking years.
So this session, Lewis doesn't hip hinge because when he does, he trains with like old bodybuilders that probably would have had him do free plate for 60 reps, and before you know it, he's just moving his lower back. That's 220 kilo. That's 20 plates per side. In most gyms here, I have 25, and that was 4 reps.
That was good for me.
And the reality here is like, we're going to reduce the load now. Normally I'd only have 1 set in here, but we're going to reduce. Now we know what, we'll end on a win, we'll end on a high. We'll leave that there.
Yeah.
We'll go leg press, and then next week you'll just jump in on this session with me.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
That was good. And then I can tell you when to pull back.
Yeah.
Like reality is next week you'll do 200 kilo. And we'll get 8.
Yeah, so a bit heavy that.
Because like, that will write you off for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Potentially. But yeah,
they felt good though. I'm not feeling any.
No.
Like normally I get off them and I'm like, oh, I have to lay down and.
The minute you tucked your chin back in, they look better. Like, because you're not, you know when you're down here, like you can see it in my back, that I'm starting from a squat position. And then when we're here, we're kind of there. So now this particular leg press, it has the ability for you to change the angle of the seat. And all you've got to look at here is, we're not going to talk about whether that's going to bias a particular part of your leg as such, because that eternally comes down to genetics a lot of the time. Yes, you can bias more quad with a narrower stance, and yes, you probably can bias more adductor with a wider stance, or you can bias more, but again, a lot of this time that's just purely down to sensation of what you're feeling. For me, after that movement, the last thing I want to be doing is leg pressing in this extreme, so I'm kind of completely sat up. So we'll have this like this, so now I'm going to be leg pressing more like here, which gives me a little bit more hip movement to move, as opposed to being completely like this and having that range locked. This will change person to person. Lewis is going to spot me, but essentially here, like, I don't want him to just be fucking yelling abuse at me and saying want more and all this. Like, my view here is, if my heel starts to raise off the platform, I want him to tell me. If my hips start coming off the platform, I want him to tell me. If my breathing gets shit, I want him to tell me. If my rep needs to be a little bit deeper, or if you've just overheard us, I need to reduce that depth because of my ankle, then we do that. So here goes.
Keep them there. Six, go. Keep them there, come on. Good. Come on. Good. Up, up, up. Good. Squeeze, come on, push, push. Oh, good that mine. Heels never came up right on that either.
I've got like flappy arm syndrome, haven't I? I can't keep them fucking still. Like a fucking budgie in a truck cage.
Good, keep them there. Slow them down. Come on. Good. Come on, come on. Keep going. Good. You got him, come on, push. Up, up, up. Bit too low on that one, didn't you?
Felt my penis touch my lip.
I didn't think you were coming back out that fucker. Not a good set though, that might.
We've got a Bentover Dumbbell Row now. We've touched on this in previous videos. These are going to be brutal after, well, every movement we've done. We've fried our hamstrings in a lying leg curl. We've done a stiff leg deadlift, and then we've done a leg press. So from a lower point, fucking lower body's fucked, and from a posterior point, we've also loaded that. So here we want to almost replicate the angle of a traditional kind of chest supported row, which is we're going to take our hips into flexion. We're going to be here, dumbbells are going to be there. So you can see that I'm not bent over to this degree, because again, like, it's going to be more upper back. If we want to be able to kind of bring our elbows into our lats as such, so we're going to be here, this is going to be locked, and we are going to use a little bit of momentum here, because again, we want to be able to contract the lats. So we're going to be here, pulling our elbows into this direction. The reason I'm keeping my chin down is because the minute I look up, my back comes up again, and I want to try and keep this angle. Bit there, up, 2. Oh. Make it hurt. Come on, dig. Again, Lewis. There you go. Rack 'em, big boy.
Fucking hell. I think it's just because I've not done as well in ages any, like,
You're not
free
training
weight.
as hard in ages. You normally train with old people.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like free weight things that
You normally get away
take a
with...
lot of your energy up, like supporting, doing the move. Do you know what I mean?
Actually training takes up your energy.
Oh God.
Normally you're just perving.
Perving.
I'm only joking. You're not really, Lewis. You're lovely, mate. Any thoughts, Lewis? Asking for a testimonial now.
Oh.
Last exercise for the hamstrings now. I don't know about Lewis, but for me at this point, the last thing I want to consciously be thinking about is keeping my hips locked down from what movements we've had. So a company called Assist Your Lift, I'm not thingy with them at all, but they do these belts. They're about £15, and what this is going to allow us to do is lock our hips in and think less about this hip wanting to go into extension, which is then by far going to make that movement easier. So what we need to think about here is most of these kind of seated machines, if you bring the camera around here, you've got like a point of the axis, the rotation. So we want to line up our knee again with this, because this is at the point where we're going to be able to bend. We've got this knee pad here. Now this is going to feel like a wooden pallet locked into your legs, but we need to have this as tight as we can. I'd have my, just below my calf, like I've got quite high calf insertions, and most people's calves down here. So I'll have that pad about here. I'll lock my hips in, and yeah, we'll go through a rep now. So we're going to be sat in. We're going to seat belt on. Get this as snug as we possibly can. Again, as you can see, my knee is in line with that point. Lock in. Pull this down. Lewis is going to assist. So now, I just need to, there we go. So this is locked, this is locked. I'm going to think about pushing myself back, because at this point here, my body, because of the load, I'm going to want to fling myself that way. So I want to push myself in. We're going to pause at this top point. I'm going to make sure my hips are back. I'm going to lock. I'm going to kind of tense my glutes. I'm going to force my legs up as I force my feet down. And I'm just going to drag. And I'm not going to kick. I'm not going to do none of this. I'm literally here and I'm going to drag my feet down, contract my hamstrings, and then I'm not just going to let the weight go. I'm going to slowly bring my feet back up. To this point, I'm going to hold a pause. Again, redo that rep. So like, what a common thing is I see, again, from, like, depending on the level and the skill level of the client, they'll send me a form video and they would have done 10 reps on here, and that video clip will be about 15 seconds. So their total time under tension without that set is around 15 seconds. And occasionally, within those 15 seconds, they've actually got themselves set up. So they've probably done 10 reps in 10 seconds. So that's 1 rep per 1 second of that fucking set. So like now when we think about it is, if we're able to, it's going to come at a cost of load, but at this point we're pretty fried and it is just about isolating. So if we think about, right, we're going to contract between here and the bottom is going to take between 1 to 2 seconds. We're going to pause at the bottom and contract hard for a second. We're going to allow that eccentric, so as we kind of lengthen that leg again, we're going to think about a 3 seconds. So just not one, we're not going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to keep that continuous whilst trying to keep tension on the hamstring. We're going to pause at the top. So for every rep there, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, you've got 7 seconds. So for what it takes most people to complete a set of 10, I've completed 1 rep. So if I multiply that by 10, that's 70 seconds. Like, look at the stress you're putting your hamstring through. I won't do that all the time. Occasionally on that second set, when we're doing that like higher rep range, I'll speed those reps up and probably aim for like 15 reps within like a 5 second per rep. So that's 50. Again, that's still around the 70 second mark, but I've got 15 reps now. But again, there's more than one way of skinning a chicken, and there'll be a lot of other coaches, trainers, influencers, bodybuilders that have their own way.
Cheers, mate. Good. Good. In, come on, squeeze. Good, didn't touch you. Come on. Oh, in, come on. Squeeze. Good.
No, one more.
Come on then.
Oh, you can.
Oh, you.
Oh.
Come on. Push. In. Good. Oh, it's not.
One rep in reserve, bitches. And this is just a tip here, is it's almost just as great or good getting 1 set in of that given exercise than completely missing it. So like normally that would be 2, we took 1, and if you're ever in that situation where you're kind of struck for time, maybe go for a high rep or add an intensifier in like a rest pause to just the 1 set, just to get it done. It's not in the logbook, but you're always gonna have that time where you can come back and get it done. Oh. So imagine that is in the center. If I was to do a single arm row, I'm gonna be pulling in this axis. So I'm gonna be pulling outwards, but I wanna have this almost aligned. Like, this isn't absolutely perfect, but it's going to be kind of better, so that's there. But if that was in the middle, this is something that Luke Miller from No Switch Coaching taught me, is I can literally sit on this edge of the bench, lock in, drag that elbow down. We want to kind of minimize body language. So what I mean by that is, if I'm here, for me to, so you'll see people within a row, they'll lean forward to get a stretch, they'll pull back, they'll twist, they'll turn, and we want to avoid that, because all we're doing is we're either going to make that movement easier for us. So my lat is here, I pull that down, that means that nothing else is moving. If I then start dropping this, I'm almost just chasing sensation.
Easy, come on. Again. 8. Good. Come on. Oh in. Squeeze, good.
Naftats.com.
You said that on my Instagram, like, who, me or you?
We've both got white tats.
Got fucking shit all over me.
You feel here?
Yeah.
So Lewis is thinking elbow to knee and in. I'm going to have him just control that concentric a little bit, so just slow it down for me. Good. And now when he's at the top, just try and square your torso off for me there. So he's here, so before he pulls down, he's going to drop that shoulder into his pocket and then down. There we go. This is going to be our last movement of the day, and we just want to bias lat and try and rinse it for everything we can. Just take this to failure. Come on, big boy. Good. Keep it going. Yes, rinse it. Good, man, come on. 50 rep set. There we go. Yes, go again, one more. Come on, into here. Again. Yes, good. Relax. So, if Lewis was to be training on himself, he'd realistically go right arm straight into his left. But what you've got to appreciate now is, like, though this left side is not fatigued and it could probably work, like from a cardiovascular point, Lewis is breathing through his arse now. So if he was to go straight into that, he's probably not going to match the same amount of reps as this side, because from a cardio point, he's fucked. So this is where, from a training point, I will now jump in and do my right arm. Lewis will then jump in and do his left arm, and then I'll jump in and do my left arm. So that's back and legs, or back and hamstrings, whatever you want to call it, ticked off. Lewis will be hip hinging from now. As you can see, that he's very much capable of doing it, and it was just a few tweaks. The stiff leg doesn't fit his kind of, let's say, biomechanics, but it doesn't fit his limb lengths and what we're trying to do from it. Really enjoyed that session. Thank you to Andy Gray for capturing that. I hope you've enjoyed, hope you've took some cues from it. Lewis will be competing in 2 months. It's about 2 months now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not long. He mentioned briefly IBFA for the first one, though I've just seen that there's an NFM the week before. Just fucking lining them up, mate.
Just chucking me in there. Not like last year. Go back and get tanned up now quick.
Yeah, should have done that. Should have done that. Yeah, better get a move on and get to this posing workshop. I'll let Lewis outro this.
No, good. I took some obviously some little tips away, feet alignment and things. Yeah, just a good session. Obviously, it was good to get back pulling again from blocks or floor or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it was just good to get back into doing some old movements that I used to do that I couldn't do for a long time. So yeah, it was good session. Enjoyed it. Ready for some posing now?